Chosen one, stop for a moment and listen closely to the message that is being delivered to you now. This is no mere coincidence or routine moment. This is a divine intervention orchestrated by God Himself. You are not here by accident. This moment is pivotal, and the words you are about to hear are meant to guide you at this exact point in time. Heaven has seen the path you've walked, the trials you've endured, and the heart you've carried. And now, at this very hour, God is calling you to pay attention. This is a revelation from the heavens, a message that holds great significance for your spiritual journey. It is not by chance that you are where you are today, nor is it a random turn of events. You have arrived at a divine appointment, a moment that has been prepared for you long before you even realized it. God has been watching, carefully observing your life, and has seen something in you that is about to change the trajectory of your future. This moment is meant for you, chosen one, as it is perfectly timed by God. What you are about to understand is essential for your growth, your purpose, and the next chapter of your life. This is not just a revelation, it is a turning point, a divine invitation to step fully into the truth of who you are and the destiny you were always meant to fulfill. Chosen one, hear this now. God has been watching you. Not just during your triumphs, but in the quiet, unseen moments of your life. While the world may not have seen your struggles, your efforts, or your sacrifices, heaven has been watching intently. You have thought at times that you were failing or barely surviving, but let me assure you, heaven has seen your persistence. Even when everything around you seemed to be crumbling and the weight of the world seemed unbearable, you stood firm, and God saw that. In those moments of weariness and doubt, when your strength faltered, you still chose to move forward. It wasn't easy, and there were times when you felt like giving up. Yet you held on, clinging to faith, even when it felt as if it were slipping through your fingers. Through every trial, every setback, and every storm, God saw you. Just as it is written in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.'" Your weakness became the very place where God's strength was magnified, where His grace was shown in ways you could never have imagined. When no one was watching, when you felt unseen, those were the moments that God valued the most. The moments of obedience, when no applause followed, and no one praised you for the silent endurance you showed. Those were the moments that mattered. It is in these private acts of faith that your true character was forged. God honors those moments of quiet strength, those unseen sacrifices that built the foundation for your future. In those times of solitude, when you remained faithful, God was preparing you for the great things to come. You see, God does not measure success the way the world does. The world looks for outward appearances, for accolades and public recognition. But God looks at the heart. As 1 Samuel 16:7 reminds us, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. God has seen your heart, chosen one. He has seen the purity of your faith, even in the toughest moments. Your heart has been steadfast, and heaven has recorded every act of obedience, every tear, and every quiet step forward. Even in the moments when you felt like you were carrying a burden too heavy to bear, God saw you. In the times when you thought you were insignificant to the world, He saw you as precious. In your struggle, you revealed something that could not be seen in the world's eyes, a strength that only God can impart. He has been strengthening you in ways you did not understand, shaping you into someone capable of handling the next level of your purpose. You may have doubted, chosen one, but God did not doubt you. In those moments when you asked why, when you questioned the silence, heaven was working. It was not a time of punishment, but of preparation. The stillness you felt was not abandonment. It was the sound of God's presence quietly working behind the scenes. As Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." The strength you have now is a strength that has been built in the unseen places. Just as a tree grows strong in its roots before it reaches the sky, so too have you been growing in your spirit, in the private moments that no one sees. You have been tested and found faithful, and now the time is coming for you to step into the fullness of your purpose. Your perseverance in those quiet moments, in the moments when everything seemed lost, has laid the groundwork for the great blessings to come. Now, chosen one, you stand at the threshold of the next season of your life. The strength that you have built in those quiet moments of obedience will carry you into the fullness of God's plan. Your faith has been tested, refined, and proven, and you are now ready for the calling that has always been yours. Just as Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Your journey has not been in vain. The trials, the silent sacrifices, and the times when you felt like you were alone, God has been using them to prepare you for this moment. You are not where you were before. You have grown and you have matured spiritually. The waiting, the uncertainty, the quiet. You now see that they were all a part of a divine plan. You have been chosen for such a time as this. You are now walking in a season of preparation, but soon you will step into a new season of manifestation. The strength that you've developed will be the foundation upon which your divine purpose will be built. God has been equipping you, not just to survive, but to thrive. You are about to see the fruit of your endurance, the harvest of your faithfulness. In this season of restoration, as God opens the doors that were once closed, you will look back at the struggles and see them as the stepping stones that have brought you closer to your purpose. The trials you once thought would break you have been the very things that have made you strong. You will now stand tall, knowing that every moment of silence, every tear, and every quiet act of faith was used by God to bring you to the place where you are today. God has seen your heart, chosen one, and He is about to reveal the fullness of His purpose for your life. No longer will you walk in the shadows of doubt or fear. The time has come for you to step into the light of your calling, knowing that you are equipped for everything that lies ahead. You are stronger than you know, and now you are ready to walk into your divine destiny. In this moment, chosen one, remember that your faithfulness has been recorded in heaven, and God has prepared you for a purpose that is far beyond what you can imagine. He has always been with you, even in the moments when you felt alone, and He is now ready to reveal His plan in ways that will bring glory to His name and blessings to your life. As 1 Corinthians 2:9 says, "However, as it is written, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him." Chosen one, there has been an ongoing battle against you, one that you may not even fully understand yet. The enemy has attempted to break you, not because you were weak, but because they feared the greatness that lies within you. They saw your potential, even when you couldn't see it yourself. They knew what you were capable of achieving, and so they tried to cloud your vision and distort your identity. This battle was never about your lack of ability. It was always about the enemy trying to prevent you from walking into your destiny. You may have felt it deeply, as though the weight of the world was against you. The lies you heard, the criticisms, the rejections, they all seemed to add up. The enemy whispered false beliefs, making you question your worth and your calling. You might have felt inadequate, too far behind, or that you were never enough. These lies were planted to distract you from the truth. But despite these attempts, God saw your heart. Even in the moments when doubt seemed overwhelming, you refused to give in. You did not agree with the lies the enemy tried to plant in your mind. You fought back, sometimes silently, but always faithfully. As written in Isaiah 54:17, "No weapon formed against you will prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn." The weapons the enemy used were lies, false beliefs, and attacks on your confidence. But every single one of them is being turned back because you refused to let go of your faith, even when it seemed impossible. God acknowledges that you were attacked not because you were weak, but because of your immense potential. The enemy could see it long before you did. That's why they fought so hard to get you to doubt yourself. They wanted you to forget who you were, to ignore the purpose God has placed in your life. But you didn't give in. You held on to what God said about you, even when the lies felt louder than the truth. In the midst of these attacks, God saw your heart. He saw your perseverance, and though you may have felt the pressure, God was using that pressure to refine you, just like gold is refined in the fire. In 1 Peter 1:7, it is written, "These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." Your faith has been tested, not to break you, but to prove its strength and to refine your character. The fire you've been walking through has been purifying you, making you stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with God's divine purpose for your life. The enemy's attempts were never about you being too weak. They were about stopping you from reaching your potential. You have faced these battles because of the anointing on your life. God has not left you in this battle, but has strengthened you in ways you didn't even realize. While the enemy used tactics of confusion, rejection, and doubt, God used these moments to equip you for the greater purpose ahead. God has seen your struggles, your doubts, and your perseverance. He knows the moments when you felt like you were failing, when you didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and when you thought about giving up. But you didn't. You may have been weary, but you kept moving forward. And in doing so, you've shown God the strength of your heart. In the midst of uncertainty, you still held on to hope, knowing that the promises He made were true. In Romans 8:37, we are reminded that, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us." You are more than a conqueror because of the power of Christ within you. Every lie the enemy tried to tell you, every attack they launched against you, has been rendered powerless because of your unshakable faith and God's constant protection. As you move forward, chosen one, know that you have been tested and you have come through victorious. The lies that the enemy tried to make you believe were just distractions, attempts to stop you from realizing who you truly are and the power that resides within you. You are a child of God, called to do mighty things. The enemy knew that, which is why they tried so hard to bring you down. God has seen your heart, and He has been working in the background, preparing you for everything that is to come. The trials you have faced have shaped you into someone who is ready to step into the fullness of your purpose. What the enemy intended for evil, God will use for good. Genesis 50:20. Every attack has been an opportunity for God to refine you, to shape you into the person who can carry the mantle of His calling. Now, as you stand on the threshold of your next season, remember that you are not defined by the battles you've fought, but by the God who has carried you through them. You are not the person you were before these struggles. You are stronger, wiser, and more spiritually mature because of what you have endured. The enemy's lies no longer have power over you because you now know the truth. You are who God says you are, and His purpose for your life is unstoppable. You may have faced seasons of doubt, confusion, and pain, but the victory has already been won. God has already declared your victory, and as you walk forward in His purpose, you will see everything that has been promised to you unfold before your eyes. The enemy's attempts to destroy you were futile, for they only served to build your faith and prepare you for the glory that is ahead. Chosen one, this is your time. The enemy's plans have been thwarted, and now you stand ready to receive all that God has in store for you. Stand firm in your identity, knowing that the victory is already yours. As it is written in 2 Corinthians 2:14, "But thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumph in Christ, and through us spreads everywhere the fragrance of the knowledge of Him. You are more than a conqueror, and the best is yet to come. Chosen one, you have walked through a season of silence, and during that time you may have wondered whether anything was happening at all. Yet, God reveals to you now that in the quiet and hidden moments, your roots were growing deeper. It is often in these unseen seasons of life that the greatest growth occurs. While the world moves forward in public displays of success, you have been quietly nurtured in ways that others could not see. The depths of your spirit were being anchored during this period, like a tree that grows its roots in the unseen soil before it stretches its branches toward the sky. As Psalm 1:3 states, "He is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers." You, chosen one, have been deeply rooted, even when it felt like you were not moving forward. The power of your silent endurance cannot be underestimated. There were countless nights when you faced doubt, pressure, and uncertainty. Yet in those quiet moments, you chose to remain faithful. You may not have seen the immediate results of your endurance, but God has been at work within you, shaping your character. Those silent nights of perseverance were not wasted. They were laying the foundation for what is to come. 2 Corinthians 4:17 reminds us, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." The struggles you faced in silence were part of a divine process that is now setting the stage for your future victories. Your strength was built in the hidden places, where you didn't seek applause or recognition. It was in the moments of solitude, when you stood alone, that your spirit was fortified. You didn't have to prove anything to anyone, and that was God's design. Through this process, you were not only refined, but also prepared for a greater purpose. There was no need to rush, no need to force growth. The quiet endurance you exhibited was exactly what God needed to strengthen you for the season ahead. Your capacity to endure and stay faithful, even in the face of adversity, is now an unshakable foundation. You were being spiritually shaped, and that preparation was invaluable. As Romans 5:3-4 tells us, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." You have already been equipped with the perseverance, character, and hope needed to step into the abundance awaiting you. Humility was your greatest teacher during this season. You were tested, not for perfection, but for your ability to endure with grace. In this humility, you learned to trust God fully, even when the results were not immediately visible. This was a sacred test, chosen one, and you passed it with integrity. God has been refining your heart, teaching you that it is not in your strength that you find victory, but in your submission to His will. Philippians 2:3-4 instructs us, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others." Your humility has made you ready for the blessings that are about to flow into your life. The humble heart you have cultivated is now a key that will unlock the doors that were previously closed to you. During this hidden season of growth, God was preparing you to receive the fullness of what He has planned. It may have seemed like you were moving slowly, but in reality, you were being meticulously crafted. The struggles and the quiet moments of faith have strengthened you for what lies ahead. The seed that was planted in your heart has now grown into a strong tree, and it is time for you to bear fruit. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." You have trusted in God during this hidden season, and now your paths are being made straight, leading you into the fullness of His plan. You have learned the value of waiting on God's timing. The lessons in this quiet season were necessary to ensure that you are aligned with His will and prepared for the abundance that is now ready to flow into your life. It is not by your own strength or effort that you will receive what is coming, but through your willingness to remain faithful, humble, and obedient during the difficult times. 1 Peter 5:6-7 encourages us, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you." God has been watching over you, and now is the time for him to lift you up. The season of silence is over, and it is time to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. As you move forward, remember the lessons you have learned in the quiet. Your strength, perseverance, and humility have set you apart for this moment. You are no longer the same person you were before. You are spiritually mature and ready for the blessings that are coming your way. God has been faithful, even when you could not see it, and he will continue to lead you into the fullness of your purpose. Just as a seed needs time to grow beneath the surface before it can break through the ground, you have been growing in the secret places, preparing to step into your divine calling. The moment of your breakthrough is near, chosen one. What was once hidden will now be revealed. The growth that seemed slow and unseen will now flourish before your eyes. And as you step into this new season, remember that your strength is in your humility, your endurance, and your trust in God. With each step forward, you are walking in the fullness of the divine purpose that God has prepared for you. Trust in his plan, for he is leading you into a future filled with hope, peace, and abundant blessings. Chosen one, there has been a battle in the unseen realms, one that you may not have been aware of, but it was happening all around you. While you faced difficulties in the natural world, heaven was watching closely, observing how you responded to each challenge. You may have thought that your struggle was in vain, or that God had forgotten you, but in reality, the angels of heaven were fighting battles on your behalf that you couldn't see. As Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Your perseverance was not just a personal victory, but a spiritual triumph that echoed through the heavens. In this unseen battle, God saw your willingness to continue, even when there was no immediate reward or recognition. It was not your performance in the spotlight that mattered most. It was how you endured in the quiet moments. The real test was not in the public victories or failures, but in how you held on when the world couldn't see your struggles. This is where your true strength was revealed, not in the applause of others, but in the quiet moments where you chose faith over fear, trust over doubt. James 1:12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." The trials you faced, though difficult, were not meaningless. They were part of God's divine plan to strengthen your spirit. What you may not have realized is that during these silent, challenging seasons, your heart was being tested. God was watching how you responded to every setback, every disappointment, and every delay. Your actions, when no one was watching, were just as significant as your public victories. These quiet moments revealed the depth of your spirit, your ability to endure hardship with grace, and your faithfulness in the midst of uncertainty. The true test was not whether you could succeed in the eyes of others, but whether you could stay faithful to God's calling, even when it seemed like nothing was happening. In 1 Peter 1:6-7, it is written, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." Your faith, though tested by fire, was purified and made stronger. As you persisted in your journey, God's heart was moved by your determination. Your endurance, your quiet strength, touched God in ways that even He had not expected. In your suffering, you demonstrated a power and humility that heaven recognizes. You chose to trust in His timing, even when it seemed like the world was moving without you. This kind of faith and perseverance is precious in God's eyes. It was not easy, but through your suffering, you demonstrated a strength that is rare, one that does not rely on circumstances, but on the solid foundation of trust in God's promises. Isaiah 40:29-31 beautifully speaks to this. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Your perseverance, rooted in your hope in the Lord, has not gone unnoticed, and it is through this perseverance that your strength has been renewed. This battle in the unseen realm was not just a test of your strength, it was a test of your character. It revealed the depth of your faith, your ability to trust God even when the road was unclear, and your commitment to His will, no matter the obstacles. Heaven was watching, and what it saw was a heart that refused to quit, even when everything seemed to fall apart. God was not just testing your ability to endure, but was also refining your spirit, shaping you for the future that He had planned for you. As Hebrews 12:1-2 reminds us, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith." You have been running this race with perseverance, and now God is preparing you for the next chapter, where your faith will be fully realized. This season of hidden growth and silent endurance has prepared you for what is to come. You may not have realized it, but every moment you spent holding on to faith, even in the midst of difficulty, has shaped you into the person God has called you to be. Your struggles, your perseverance, your faithfulness, these are the qualities that have equipped you for the abundance that is on its way. You are not alone in this journey. God was with you, strengthening you, refining you, and preparing you for the future He has in store for you. And now, as you move forward, you are walking in the authority and strength that comes from the unseen work that God has been doing in your life. In this unseen battle, you were being shaped for your purpose. Every challenge you faced was a necessary step in the process of becoming who God created you to be. Your faith has been tested and proven, and now you stand stronger than before. The battles that once seemed overwhelming were simply the refining process that has made you ready to step into the fullness of your calling. 1 Corinthians 10:13 encourages us by saying, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it." Through every trial, God has been providing a way for you to endure, and now you are ready to walk into your divine destiny. As you step forward, remember that the unseen battle was never meant to destroy you, but to strengthen and prepare you for the calling God has placed on your life. Your journey, though filled with trials, has been one of divine preparation. You are now ready for the next phase, where the strength and perseverance you have cultivated will serve as the foundation for the blessings and purpose that are about to unfold. Stand firm in your faith, knowing that God has been with you every step of the way, and that His plan for you is greater than anything you could have imagined. Chosen one, the moment of revelation has come. You may have been uncertain about your purpose, feeling like you were wandering or waiting for something to shift, but now, God is unveiling the truth about your identity. You were chosen not because of your perfection, but because of your heart, your willingness to persevere, to trust, and to follow His call. This truth is not new to your spirit. Deep inside, you have always known that there is something greater at work in your life. As it says in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Even before you understood the depth of your calling, God had already set you apart for something extraordinary. You were never meant to be ordinary, and now is the time to step into that truth. This revelation is not just about understanding who you are, but also about embracing the weight of the responsibility that comes with it. Being chosen is not about comfort or ease. It is about stepping into a higher purpose, one that requires sacrifice, endurance, and unwavering faith. As 1 Peter 2:9 tells us, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light." You have been called to declare His praises, to lead others into the light, and to carry the weight of His glory in a world that desperately needs it. This calling comes with a responsibility that others may not understand, but it is yours to bear. You have been prepared for this moment through trials, silence, and unseen battles. God has shaped you in ways that are not always visible to the world. Like the refining of gold, the process has been painful but necessary. Your character has been forged in secret, and now you are being released into the world to fulfill your divine destiny. Just as the Bible teaches in Isaiah 48:10, "See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." The tests you have faced, the trials you have endured, were not punishments, but the very means by which God has prepared you for your calling. They have built within you the strength and resilience needed to carry the responsibility He has entrusted to you. God's affirmation of you is clear. You are not behind, nor have you been forgotten. In fact, you are exactly where you need to be on your journey. The growth that took place in the silence, the hidden seasons of your life, is now ready to manifest. You may not have seen the transformation in the moment, but God has been working behind the scenes, shaping you, refining you, and aligning you for the next step. Psalm 23, 1-3 says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul." In those moments of stillness, God was refreshing your soul, preparing you for what lies ahead. Your journey has not been in vain. Every moment of silence, every moment of waiting, has been preparing you for this revelation. Now that the veil is being lifted, the chosen one must understand that this moment of clarity is not the end, but the beginning. You have been positioned in such a way that you are ready to step into your divine purpose with confidence. This is the moment where your preparation meets opportunity. As Philippians 3:14 encourages, "I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." The goal is ahead of you, and you have been equipped to press forward with the strength and wisdom that have been cultivated in you during your hidden season. The responsibility that comes with being chosen is not to be taken lightly, but it is also a privilege. You have been set apart, not because you are perfect, but because your heart has aligned with God's will. The world may not always understand your journey, but God has been faithful, and He will continue to lead you. As He affirmed in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." The plans God has for you are greater than anything you could have imagined. Even in your moments of doubt, He has been guiding you, preparing you, and now you are ready to walk into the fullness of His promises. The journey ahead will not always be easy, but it will be fulfilling. You have been prepared, and now you are being called to live out your divine purpose. The lessons learned in the quiet and the struggles faced in the hidden seasons will serve as the foundation for the powerful work you are about to step into. Your faith has been tested, and now you are ready to take the next step with the strength and courage that only God can provide. Psalm 37:5 says, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this." Trust in the process, trust in God's plan, and know that the future ahead of you is filled with His promises. In this season of revelation, the chosen one must understand that everything has been leading to this moment. You are being revealed to the world, not just in the fullness of your calling, but in the fullness of who you are in Christ. The trials and challenges you faced have not been for nothing. They have been the steps leading to this divine purpose. Your strength, your faith, and your perseverance have all been cultivated for this very moment. God is with you, and He will continue to guide you as you walk boldly into your divine destiny. The time has come for you to step forward in faith and embrace the calling that has always been meant for you.